Yes.
Let's talk about Kim at Foodbenders. She is also doing some litigation. She's suing the JDL, which, as we all know, is a terrorist organization that was based in Toronto and has since dissolved as a chapter. They are actually Kahanists. They're like the type of people who are like, we should murder Palestinians. They threaten Palestinians in Toronto all the time. There's Mir Weinstein, this weirdo dude who has like a broadcast where he often just threatens people, talks about Jewish supremacy. And so she is engaged in a suit with them right now. And there was a judge who was a part of her pretrial proceedings who literally has the surname Kahan. And I did a little investigation, and she is a Israeli and Canadian judge who was like seemingly handpicked for this proceeding. You know, I did a little sleuthing. I did a little unit 8200ing like they do, and I checked out the like her Facebook friends list, and it's like a who's who of intelligentsia in the occupation. And so it's like, it's very suspect. It's just wild that there's somebody involved in a position of authority who is not only named Kahan, but has connections to the Zionist occupation. And they are involved in deciding aspects of procedure for a case that is largely about the Zionist occupation of Palestine. It seems like it would be a blatant conflict of interest. And we would just like to get more attention to the fact that it seems like our friend Kim is likely being set up to, get fucked over in court, because that's what they do. They install people in places of power, and then they influence the decisions that happen. And that's why you have a motherfucking Marvel character that is named after the murder of Palestinians.
Yeah, let's put it this way. If it's a coincidence, it's a very, very peculiar coincidence. First of all, how many cases are there dealing with Palestine that are, up at the docket wherever this proceeding is taking place in Canada? Probably not too many. Probably like one.
Very few, I would imagine.
Right. And how many of those judges are, working within the Canadian judicial system are named Kahan?
And speak Hebrew and like visit the occupation in their bio. Like, pretty rare.
Probably not too many, right? It's 100% a reason to recuse yourself as a judge. And the fact that she hasn't done that is highly problematic and really just shows what somebody who is willing to go up against these forces can face at every step of the way. It wasn't enough for them to destroy her business,
which they did, by the way.
Which
they
they
actually did. I'm not talking about just financially either. Like, they physically destroyed the property. They defaced the property. They broke windows. They intimidated her. They showed up with guys in balaclavas. You know what I mean? Like, they did the absolute most because she put "I love Gaza" on her window. She had a stance for Palestine in a city that is largely influenced by Zionists.
And it wasn't obviously enough for them to threaten her life, her livelihood.
I spoke to somebody who is familiar with Canadian legal proceedings, and they said that because this is the pretrial judge, that means that it'll be a different judge come trial. But I mean, if they've got somebody installed as a pretrial judge, it's likely going to be fixes in when the judge comes too, right? They can get to the pre-trial. The trial is no problem. Person told me that was going to like alleviate my anxiety about the situation. They're like, oh, well, it's going to be a different judge. It's like, oh, okay, that just means they can install two judges.
Right.